Crossroads kids, it's Miss Denise. I am so excited to be launching back into the school year. It just seems like forever since we've been to school, right? So you're probably getting really excited. You probably have all your school supplies, and you get to go meet your teachers and go back and see where your classroom is and run up and give all your friends hugs. And wait a minute, we still have COVID going on. Ugh. Probably most of you aren't launching back into the school year the way you thought. Maybe you're learning remotely, or you're doing from your screen at home. Maybe you just get to go into school maybe once or twice a week, and all your friends aren't there because you have to stay separate and social distanced from each other. Maybe you have to wear masks and it's super uncomfortable. It's just not anything the way you planned your launch back to school. It really reminds me of a story in the book of Judges in chapter 6 about a man named Gideon. And Gideon was asked to do some pretty strange things by God. And Gideon was told, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but I'm going to tell you some of it. Gideon was told that he was going to go to war against the Midianite army. It was a huge, massive army. And so God told him, go out and gather troops, gather people to come and fight with you. So Gideon did. He got over 3,000 men. And he came and he told God, I have these 3,000 men. We're ready to go. And God said, oh, wow, that's way too many people to go to war. So God did some pretty interesting things to narrow down that number, and then narrow down that number again. You're going to have to read it. He narrowed down that number to only 300. And Gideon, I'm sure, was thinking, well, gosh, the more men you have, the easier it is to go to war and to be, to be powerful. But I have God on my side. Sorry, I have God and my 300 men. This is awesome. Okay, God, what's next? Tell me what's next. God said, well, I didn't tell you this earlier, but we're going to go to war a little bit differently. Rather than having swords and armor and big chariots and things such as that for our weapons, give each of your men a clay pot, and give each of your men a trumpet or like a horn. Is that what you would go to war with? That's not what I would want to go to war with. That's probably not how Gideon planned it either, right? But he listened and he did exactly what God said. And let me tell you, Gideon was successful because he listened to and obeyed God. He was able to take over the Midianite army, and he was able to triumph over all of them. And nobody, not then, not now, could ever say that he was successful and triumphed because of his own power and the power of those 300 men. There's no way. Everybody who saw that battle and knows about that battle and still reads about that battle today can see that the only reason that he was strong enough to overturn the Midianite army, the only reason is because he trusted in God, and it was God's glory and God's power that did that. So when we think things aren't going exactly the way we've planned, and we're launching back to school and it doesn't look like how we would do it, let's remember that God has a plan for you. He has a plan for your life. Things that we can't understand, we know nothing about. Just like Gideon, we have to just trust and obey, read our Bible, stay in close fellowship with God, pray with Him, talk with Him, and obey what He tells us to do, and stay strong in our faith. And God has amazing things that we can't even imagine. He has amazing things for you, just like He had amazing things for Gideon. So this week, I just say, as you're launching back to school, stay strong in your faith, and keep reading your Bibles, and just remember the story of Gideon and how he gave the power over to God, and he was successful, and you can be too. Thanks so much. Have a great week back to school.